You're overqualified, you're underpaid, and you're still afraid to leave. Let's be honest, that sentence probably stung a little bit because it's true. You're the one everybody runs to when something is on fire. You're the one fixing the messes, saving the projects, mentoring the new hires. And yet at 2 a.m., you're scrolling job boards or business videos wondering, why am I still here? So, in this video, I'm going to break down the real reasons you're stuck in a job that no longer fits you, even though you're smart enough, skilled enough, and experienced enough to walk away. And by the end, you'll know exactly which trap you're in and how to start your exit plan. If you hear yourself in this, stay with me. This may be the most important 10 minutes you've given yourself all year. So let's start with this. You're not lazy. You're not confused. You're not ungrateful for a good job, right? How many times have we heard that thrown around? You're trapped. And there are three parts to this trap. And the first is the golden handcuffs, which we'll talk about here in a minute. The second is this high achiever identity. And then lastly, the praise that keeps you stuck. And I'm going to walk through each one. I want you to mentally check off which ones are true for you as I'm going through these, because once you can see the trap, you can stop blaming yourself and start building a way out. So first, the golden handcuffs. They sound glamorous, but they feel like I make good money, but I'm exhausted. I have benefits, but I'm miserable. I'm comfortable, but I feel like I'm wasting my life. Your paycheck is high enough to keep you quiet, but not enough to make you truly free. And you built a lifestyle rather around this direct deposit, the mortgage, the car, the kids' activities, the Amazon boxes at the door. So when you even think about leaving, your brain goes straight to, what if I can't replace this income? That is the number one question that I find my clients asking themselves again and again and again. Pretty closely followed up by, what if I can't provide for my family? And also, what if I mess up my retirement? So you stay and you tell yourself, I'll leave when things calm down. I'll leave when I have one more promotion, or I'll leave when I save just a little bit more. But the problem is, those things never calm down. The promotion comes with more work, and that little bit more that we talked about, it tends to be a moving target. And golden handcuffs, those are so powerful because they use your responsibility against you. You care, you're thoughtful, you're a planner, and corporate knows that, so they give you just enough comfort to keep you from questioning the cost. The second trap is this high achiever identity. Um, Most people who fall in this trap, they've been the good one their whole life, right? So the honor roll student, the reliable team member, the one who figures it out no matter what. And your identity has been built on being the person rather who performs, who delivers, who exceeds expectations. So when you think about leaving corporate, it's not just about money; it's about identity. And honestly, for me, like, this was my personal biggest trap. And one of the things that I see come up quite a bit are questions like, who am I if not the director, the senior manager, the go-to person? What does it say about me if I walk away from something I worked so hard for? And also, what if I try something new and I'm not instantly great at it, right? So high achievers, we're used to winning in environments they understand. A lot of times these are people who've learned how to win at school, they've learned how to, win at work. But entrepreneurship, right? That feels like stepping into a game where you don't know all the rules yet. And that can be a little bit daunting. Not knowing the rules, it feels dangerous almost. So, what do high achievers, what do we like to do when we're scared? We overthink, we over research, we over plan, we read 9 million books, all the stuff. You tell yourself you need one more certification, one more course, one more degree before you start. But what you're really doing is protecting your identity from the possibility of being a beginner again. The third trap I see people running into is what I like to call the praise loop. So let's talk a little bit about this, right? How does corporate keep you hooked? So you might not be getting the promotion you deserve, you might not be getting the raise you deserve, but you are getting something. Things like, you'll hear a lot of phrases being tossed around like, we couldn't do this without you. You're such a rock star. You're the glue that holds the team together. You're too valuable to lose. And because you're a high achiever, that praise hits a very old part of you. That part that learned early on that being helpful, being smart, being dependable is how you earn love, safety, and belonging. So every time you think, I should leave, something happens at work that pulls you back in. Maybe they put you on a special project, they ask you to mentor someone, they give you a little bonus, they tell you, we're working on something for you. And for a moment, you feel seen, you feel important, you feel needed. And that's not by accident, guys, right? Corporate will happily overuse you, underpay you, and overpraise you as long as it keeps you from realizing you could be building something of your own. So, yeah, I just threw those three out. Take a moment, which one of those did, kind of resonated the most with you, and let's talk about why you're really afraid to leave in those three different areas. So, let's put this together, right? You're overqualified, you're underpaid, and you're still afraid to leave because maybe your lifestyle is tied to a paycheck, your identity is tied to a performance, your validation is tied to your usefulness, and in these moments, when you're having these thoughts, leaving corporate, it doesn't just feel like changing a job, right? It feels like tearing down the whole structure that you built your life on. And that's scary, right? It forces you to pause, it forces you to hesitate. You find yourself, talking yourself out of it. But here's the truth I want you to really sit with. You're already doing hard things. You're already taking risks. Every time you make a big decision at work, every time you manage a project with moving parts, every time you lead people through change, you are already using your brain, your leadership, your creativity. You're just doing it for someone else's dream. The fear isn't a sign that you're not ready. The fear is a sign that you're about to do what matters. So, what do you do with all of this, right? Like, you don't need to quit tomorrow. Not saying that, you don't need to blow up your life. You don't need to pretend you're not scared. What you do need is a plan that respects your responsibilities and honors your potential. And that's just what I want to challenge each of you guys in. So, here's where I recommend that you start. So, three simple questions to ask yourself now. So, where are you being underutilized right now? What skills, ideas, or strengths are sitting on the shelf at your job, right? So take a moment and really evaluate. The next is strategize. If you just took one of those strengths and turned it into a service, who could you help and what problem could you solve? And then lastly, capitalize, right? What is one tiny low risk step you could take in the next 30 days to test that idea without quitting your job, right? See how that amazing solution that you created would look like in the marketplace. So maybe that's something as simple as having a conversation with a potential client. Maybe it's creating a simple offer. Maybe it's joining a challenge or a program that walks you through your exit strategy step by step. And the point is like, you don't break the trap just sitting around and waiting for courage. You break that trap by taking structured, intentional action. And that's really what I want you guys to focus on. If you're listening to this and thinking, whoa, that's me, right? Let me know. Would love to help. I'm actually doing 5 more 1 day sessions in order to help people think through that part and really hone in on that evaluation piece that I just talked about. Would love to work with you and get you set up going into 2026. So when you think about that, right? You're not crazy for wanting more, you're not selfish for wanting freedom, and you are absolutely capable of building something beyond your job title. You're overqualified, you're underpaid, but you don't have to stay afraid. I'm so excited to see what it is that you create after you take some time to do some self-reflection. Let me know. Don't forget to share it with me, and I hope you all the best.